Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and today I'm going to show you how to learn and practice Ripple by the Grateful Dead. First, let's take a look at what we're going to be doing today.
If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow. Reach out your hand if your cup...
As you can see in the table of contents down below, that red bar at the bottom of this video, we'll learn the chords, practice chord switching, take a look at the strumming pattern, figuring it out beat by beat, and all the little intricacies that are going to make it feel like the actual song. And then we're going to put those elements together. And at that point, all that's left to do is learn the other sections of the song, and that's it. And all my lessons are laid out like this, so please subscribe if you find this organized way of learning and practicing songs makes sense to you. Also, if you haven't gotten your copy of my free ebook that covers all the fundamentals of guitar, emailed to your inbox completely free, there's a link in the corner and down below for that as well. Either way, we're going to get started with the chord shapes. We start off on a G chord, and from there we go to C, and there's also a D chord. And those three chords are going to get us through this entire section. I recommend being comfortable with G to C, because that's like every single finger changes on that chord. There's no trick for that switch. You can lay your fingers out in the same order every time. Like from the G chord, you start out with your ring finger and you go like boom and do it that way. And you just keep doing that over and over again, silently, just working on the switch. Or you could do it the other way. Sometimes you do it one way for a while and then another way for a while and then it clicks, whatever it takes. My free ebook, my beginner's course, we cover that in a ton of places. I'll have tons of resources for you as far as that's concerned. Now let's take a look at that strumming pattern. This song uses the most common strumming pattern ever. It goes like this. And that is just down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. If this strumming pattern is new to you, I have a separate tutorial that goes over it. But let's just take a quick little second to break it down. The first half is down, down, up. We have a downstroke on 1 and a down, up on 2. To practice it, I want you to go 1, 2. So on 1, you do the downstroke, on 2, you do the down, up, and then you count 3, 4 out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you just keep doing that over and over again. The second half, you start by counting 1, 2. The part that we cut out, we still got to account for it, so we're doing some counting. And then on beat 3, we go miss, up, and then on beat 4, down, up. And I find for this one, it's easy to just go miss, up, down, up. That's our little unit, right? So we go 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. And we just do that over and over again. So we have our two halves, and you get really good at each half of that. And when you're ready, it shouldn't be too hard to put it together to go 1, 2, miss, up, down, up, down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. And that's the mechanics of the strumming pattern. When it comes to capturing the feel of the tune, this song has a swing feel to it. If we play it with a straight feel where everything's completely even, it's just like tick, tick. If I hear your voice, that doesn't sound right. That sounds like Take It Easy by the Eagles or something like that, right? For this song, we need a swing feel. It needs to go. In a swing feel, the downstrokes are a bit longer than the upstrokes. So instead of being completely even, it's like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Like a blues or something, you know? And we could count it out going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and and that's an awesome exercise, just doing it like that. But you can also just kind of feel it out. Like most people, it's not too hard to feel it out. Just listen to the original recording, mute the strings, and just try to do that. I have a full playthrough on my Patreon page where we do the song a little bit slower with a metronome. You can check that out as well. We'll talk more about that at the end of the lesson. But anyways, we take the most common strumming pattern ever, we add a swing feel to it, and it's gonna feel like ripple. So let's take that chord progression from before and let's add that strumming pattern to it now. Starting off on G, 1, 2, 3, 4. Something that we have to talk about is some of the verses have an extra measure of G at the end. Later, when we're putting the whole song together, or we're talking about how to assemble the whole tune, I'll bring that up again. So, you know, we'll go over that again. But it's just something to be aware of. If you hear like, why is there an extra measure of G? That's why. Anyways, that is our verse. This song just has one other part, and that's the chorus. For the chorus, we're going to need to add the A minor chord and the A major chord. So that brings us up to a 5-chord tune, but it's still really simple. So 2 measures of A minor, 2 measures of D, and then we do this cool like circle of fifths sort of thing. G, C, A, D, kind of a circle of fifths thing. Anyways, that is the entire chorus. Let's add our strumming pattern to that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. Just that verse and that chorus, you have the entire tune. When it comes to putting it all together, we start off with an intro. And the intro is just the chords from the verse, adding that extra measure of G at the end. So we do G with our strumming pattern 1 extra time. Then we have our first verse, and that's just 16 measures. Our second verse, we're adding a measure of G to that. Takes us into our chorus. And then we have a third verse and a fourth verse, and it's the same thing. You know, the third verse doesn't have the extra measure of G, and then the fourth verse does. A chorus, and then our fifth verse, and then our outro. And the outro is just the same chords as the verse. The one thing is the very last chord of the outro, we're just going to do a downstroke and let it ring out. And that's how you would end the song, going like... You know, the outro is like the la da 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 bit, you know. And that's it. That's the entire song. So you could write that down and listen to the original recording to kind of get that feeling for where you are in the tune. I also have a full playthrough on my Patreon page, and I've started doing something different. Now I play the entire song start to finish with the metronome. And there still has the chords and lyrics floating at the top of the screen, but the main thing is that we're doing the song slower than the recording to give you a chance to, you know, catch up to it and have like a stepping stone between where you're at and the full speed recording. It's kind of halfway. So you can check that out. Don't forget to check out my free ebook if you haven't gotten your copy yet. It's completely free for all my subscribers. I also have a complete beginner's course which guides you through everything from absolute beginner to confident strummer, learning songs along the way, and have a fun time practicing this one. If you have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.